Today on The Advocates, we're honored to welcome a passionate legal warrior and animal rights advocate, Attorney Heidi Marquez-Caguioa, Program Director of Animal Kingdom Foundation. Attorney Heidi has been at the forefront of the fight to end the brutal dog meat trade in the country. Through strategic legal action, grassroots education, and tireless advocacy, she and her team at AKF are working to create a future where no animal suffers from cruelty or neglect. Join us as we talk about their causes, the rescue operations, and the ongoing mission to protect our furry companions. I'm Rochelle Rubio, and this is The Advocates.
She's one of the country's foremost legal advocates for animal rights, leading notable cases to hold animal abusers accountable. Meet Attorney Heidi Marquez-Caguioa, President and Program Director of Animal Kingdom Foundation. What's the story behind this animal welfare organization, and how did it all begin?
The story of Animal Kingdom Foundation started actually with a British guy, Charles Wartenberg. He was an advocate. He was an activist, an animal welfare activist based in the UK. And at that time, he was active in advocating for the various animal welfare issues in Canada and also in the UK. He got wind of a story he read in a newspaper. I think it was a Daily Mail about dogs being killed for human consumptions in the Philippines. So he came to the Philippines and started investigating, looking into it, verifying the information, which of course he did. He was able to verify that there's really dog meat trade presence in the country. So from then on, he started looking for people. He started the organization Animal Kingdom Foundation, although it was at that time informal. It was able to validate and confirm that there was dog meat trading presence or dog meat trade presence in the country then. While he may be a foreigner, not even a Filipino, his heart all the way was there to promote the Filipino dogs, or what we call Ascals or the Aspens.
That was in the late 1990s. Since then, Mr. Charles Leslie Wartenberg has continued returning to the Philippines to pursue the advocacy he began. Fighting the country's dog meat trade, he formed a dedicated team and worked alongside authorities in raids to rescue dogs from slaughter.
It started way back in late 1990s, and then in 2003 we were organized as an organization. At that time, what we were doing really was to work with the police, to look into the dog meat trade issue, do the raids, rescue these dogs, stop the cruel practice of dog meat trade.
Since its founding, the Animal Kingdom Foundation, or AKF, has actively campaigned against the dog meat trade in the Philippines, rescuing hundreds of dogs from being sold, slaughtered, or trafficked across provinces. The organization works closely with local government units and law enforcement agencies to conduct rescue operations, pursue legal action against offenders, and promote animal welfare awareness. In several regions of the Philippines, particularly in parts of northern Luzon, the consumption of dog meat has deep cultural roots. Despite this, the trade remains illegal under Republic Act No. 8485 or the Animal Welfare Act, which prohibits the killing of dogs for food. Still, the practice persists in underground markets and illicit slaughterhouses. One of AKF's most iconic rescues was a dog named Sweet, who was saved in Benguet. Sweet later became the organization's official ambassador, symbolizing resilience and compassion and helping to promote AKF's advocacy for stronger animal protection laws. According to AKF, eating dog meat is not only unethical but also poses serious health risks. Studies have shown that the consumption of dog meat can expose humans to diseases like rabies and cholera.
Our ambassador at that time, si Sweet, was rescued in La Trinidad.
For many years, the Animal Kingdom Foundation, or AKF, has been at the forefront of the fight against the dog meat trade in the country. This core advocacy has given rise to several initiatives such as public information campaigns, training programs, and more.
Our core advocacy and campaigns really is the elimination or the ending of the dog meat trade. Nagkaroon ng iba-iba kaming mga programs. Nagkaroon na po kami ng education program. Nagkaroon kami ng trainings. Nagkaroon kami ng community or veterinary missions. And of course, tuloy-tuloy pa rin po yung ating rescue. The reason here is that we believe that we cannot end the dog meat trade just by rescuing, by raiding and prosecuting the offenders alone. So we believe that a holistic approach is important and most relevant in ending the dog meat trade. We have the rescue and rehabilitation center. We have trainings. We do education in various schools, in the barangays, in community, even office education and awareness campaigns. We also have what we call veterinary missions, where we partner with various veterinary groups in the country so that we can go around and provide veterinary access or veterinary health services to communities, to municipalities, and provinces that has no or very limited veterinary access. We provide free kapon or spay and neuter. We provide checkups, anti-rabies vaccinations, deworming. All of this, of course, are being offered for free to the community. So that's how much we take effort in providing services for our community, again, so that they will be able to raise their awareness on animals and animal welfare.
With the kind of programs they have for animal welfare, one would wonder, how big is Animal Kingdom Foundation in terms of the number of staff and volunteers?
It sounded like we're so big because we're doing so much. All in all, I think we're just about less than 20 people, but we have huge and warm volunteer hearts around us that helps us in rolling out our programs and advocacies.
Their efforts take many forms, including close collaboration with lawmakers, local government units, and concerned government agencies.
And in fact, in our veterinary missions, we partnered with the Philippine Animal Hospital Association and the Philippine Veterinary Medical Associations. So these organizations are the ones providing medical assistance to the dogs and cats in the community. We really have to partner para to be able to make the best or the biggest impact to the community.
What were the biggest partnerships that the Animal Kingdom Foundation has engaged in?
There's a lot actually, no? Just to name a few years ago when Charles was still alive, we were working on a policy issuance by the Bureau of Animal Industry or the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Animal Industry. This is in relation to the dog meat trade because the clamor in in the international world for the Philippines to stop, to ban dog meat trade. So sabi namin, talaga namang bawal because it's cruel, it's inhumane. The government should take seriously or should look into seriously the dog meat trade issue. So we partnered with the Department of Agriculture, Bureau of Animal Industry, the DILG, the PNP, the National Meat Inspection Service, so that we will be able to come up with a collaborative framework which we now call the National Plan of Action to eliminate the dog meat trade in the Philippines.
What is NAPOA, or the National Plan of Action to curb the dog meat trade in the Philippines, and why is it significant to the country's animal welfare?
This NAPOA, which we call it, is a framework of policies and ways on how this interagency relationship, the government and us, the NGO, to be able to curb or stop the dog meat trade. So that's what we are using. That was also issued, I think, way back 2006, if I'm not mistaken.
It took 2 years to develop the framework with support from fellow advocates and collaborators in the animal welfare community.
To be able to make sure also that lahat may participation and our works are legally are within the bounds of law. DILG played an important role in this collaboration as well. So napakarami actually namin collaboration, but I think that's the biggest. Other than that, we also have collaborations which I mentioned to you with the Philippine Animal Hospital Association, the Philippine Veterinary Medical Association, and our vet friends, no, the LGUs as well. We were in Marawi, no, it's the very first time that they ever had a veterinary missions, and my gosh, ang dami palang pusa doon, and you see how much they love their pets, and wala silang vet clinics in Marawi. Although they have a provincial veterinary office, mag-isa naman po kasi siyang vet, but he's really very compassionate about animal welfare. Kaya naman talagang tumulong kami doon.
AKF is also a strong advocate for spaying and neutering. In Marawi alone, they have spayed and neutered nearly 600 cats and dogs.
Very few dogs because our Muslim brought to have dogs around. They're more on cats.
Regarding the revised Animal Welfare Act, which became a hot topic within the animal welfare community during the 19th Congress, Attorney Heidi had this to say.
Brian Po, the son of Senator Grace Po, refiled the bill. He has his own version, of course. There are also other lawmakers, no, that has refiled also the bill. So we're watching on that. And I think that's really what's really going to happen. Kasi the bill naman, kasi ang daming bills, ang dami kasing bills yan other than Senator Grace Po's bill, because sa kanya naman kasi it was approved on the third reading. And we know for a fact that meron pang House of Representatives to hurdle. There's a lot of revisions also, or additions that other organizations also want to put. We just hope again that during this time, our lawmakers will continue that passion, will continue, no, that fire to push for a better animal welfare law in the Philippines. This will not only help the dogs and cats that we care for, but it will help even the farm animals or the working animals in terms of framework. It will have a more focused agency to look into animal welfare. Marami kasi tayong batas eh. Ang problema natin, always the implementation.
Attorney Heidi hopes that a stronger animal welfare bill will be tackled in the 20th Congress and eventually be passed into law.
In fact, we also really wanted the redefinition of the animals and animal welfare. Ang dami-dami natin gustong ilagay dyan. Kami rin yan. Kaya nga sabi naman natin, hindi naman natin kailangan i-post kasi meron pang 20th Congress kasi hindi naman mapapasa yan sa 19th Congress. Suportahan natin to, dagdagan natin, palakasin natin all together, di ba? Senator Grace Pope poured her heart, her effort, no, on this bill, and all the other lawmakers who had supported this. So para sa akin, yung effort na yon is already commendable, super commendable. Kung gusto pa nating maraming dagdag, kasi gusto ko pa rin marami pa rin akong gustong ilagay dyan. So dagdagan lang natin, may 20th Congress naman, di ba? So let's work together to improve it, to have the better, if not the best, animal welfare law that we have here in the Philippines.
Attorney Heidi shares her insights on key aspects of the revised Animal Welfare Act, which drew significant attention from animal lovers and advocates during its deliberation in the 19th Congress.
We are always looking into the punitive portion. That's why the bill, we're really supporting the revised bill because it has a framework of implementation. May community education dyan, may spay and neuter dyan na mandated na, may defined role ang LGUs, ang barangays, hindi siya patsi-patsi. So talagang holistic din yung framework niya. Lahat may participation, even mga taga-barangay natin who are our first responders. Sabi natin, let's not just look into the punitive portion kasi ang daming aspeto rin yan na makakapagpalakas. Yung ating pong ipinapasa or pinopromote na bill, no, ay may education, may strengthening ng LGU kasi nga kailangan natin sila at ayaw din natin ng impounding sa totoo lang. But again, rabies kasi is a very compelling and urgent public health issue. So kailangan talagang ma-address 'yan. So while we do not want impounding, how do we reduce animals being impounded, 'di ba? So nandun po nakasaad 'yun sa mga programang holistic na naipasok po sa ating bill, no? Na sana po 'yan maintindihan natin na hindi parte-parte or patsi-patsi ang pagbabasa ng batas. Ito po ay holistic, kailangan nating intindihin ang espiritu nito. Make it happen. It's an experience together. And of course, with the help and support of our lawmakers. And I think the 19th Congress, we've seen how strong the commitment of our lawmakers to really improve the animal welfare in the country.
AKF emphasizes that dogs involved in the dog meat trade often endure extreme cruelty. Many are not just strays, but also stolen pets, transported in cramped cages without food or water, and slaughtered in inhumane conditions. With the overwhelming number of calls for help the Animal Kingdom Foundation receives daily, along with the countless rescue operations and ongoing initiatives they undertake, Attorney Heidi and her team remain unfaltering in their commitment. Among these many efforts, one particular rescue left a profound impact on Attorney Heidi as an animal welfare advocate, an experience that continues to fuel her passion to this day.
Our attention was called that there was a vehicle that got apprehended and for a traffic violation. So and then they saw daw a lot of dogs. These dogs came from Batangas at that time, and then they were stopped in NLEX. Ang daming aso, and the stench of sorry to say, dead dogs and the heat and everything, sobrang hindi ko siya makakalimutan. At parang hanggang ngayon, pag naaalala ko siya, naamoy ko siya, nakikita ko siya. That's already the message that in my practice and in my life, no? Because as a lawyer, I have always been conflicted into like, naku, abogado lang ang gusto kong gawin, ito lang ang gustong gawin. But then, animals and animal welfare has really chased me over these years. And that moment, when I saw these dogs, when we opened that truck, at nakatingin sila sa akin, parang really pleading for us, for me, for our team to save them. Talagang it's up to now is something that I could not really forget. And yun nga, vision, pero parang it's that purpose that keeps me going up to this day.
How does she find the strength to keep going after witnessing so much animal cruelty?
It's painful, to see those dogs in those situations. There was really that shock. Dadating yung time na kailangan mong, that you really just have to be strong because these animals are voiceless. They're helpless. And it's just us human beings who they look forward to para sila ay tulungan. So, parang sige dogs and cats, sige kalabaw, sige kabayo, pati manok is nalaban natin yan.
When asked about the biggest challenges in running the Animal Kingdom Foundation, Attorney Heidi shares that it's retaining personnel amid the emotional toll, compassion fatigue, and the constant pain that continues to drain them.
The challenge in ensuring sustainability. Paano, since there's so many organizations already that's been, closing down or nahihirapan, just like anybody else. We're also dependent on people, and like financial is also one of the challenges that we are facing. Third, we're also facing one challenge, which is, of course, government support or maybe government thinking and considering animal welfare in its program. Kasi alam mo naman, when we talk about animals, food security is also always top of the line. And public health is also top of the line over the welfare of the animal. So maybe we are working really very hard for the government agencies now to look into animal welfare in including animal welfare in their programs, in their also in their policies.
Attorney Heidi also emphasizes the vital role of barangays in upholding animal welfare, highlighting the need to educate and empower barangay officials as the first responders within their communities.
Na rin tayong barangay animal na sila mismo ang magre-respond din animal welfare. Kasi alam mo naman natin, sila nga ang first responders pag may nakagat, may nasagasaan, or may nawawala ng mga alaga.
Attorney Heidi notes with concern the internal conflicts within animal welfare circles.
Pag minsan, it's also sad to note no that even among us animal welfare groups and organizations, kami pa minsan nag-aaway-away no at hindi nagkakasundo. Kaya naman po just to respond to yung need no ng iba na nagpapa-psychiatrist pa. In December of last year, we did a seminar for free to animal rescue groups, to feeders, shelter operators. Inimbita po namin sila para sa isang parang workshop.
AKF continues its mission through education campaigns, veterinary outreach, shelter and rehabilitation services, and lobbying efforts aimed at ending the dog meat trade in the country, among their other initiatives. What does Attorney Heidi see as the most urgent animal welfare issues in the country that the government must address?
For dogs and cats, it's on the impounding. No, I believe that there's a lot of cruelty happening in the process of impounding and in keeping of the animals in the pounds. And I think hindi lang siya masyadong natututukan because of the public health issue. But once you go to the pounds, there are so many cruelty matters or issues or concerns that you will find there. Also, there's a lot of waste in terms of government resources because while the NGOs, the local government units would vaccinate these dogs and also take effort no in doing castration, spay and neuter, when they are left in the streets by irresponsible pet owners and they're being impounded, sila rin po ay papatayin at the same time. Responsible pet ownership, basic, no? I think if the government, the NGOs would really put a lot of effort and impactful programs also on education so that animal welfare becomes a byword, a buzzword, so that everybody takes care of animals, so that everybody will have compassion towards strays or towards animals, and they're able to understand why they are doing this as ordinary citizens or as students or as a professional. Then I think that mare-reduce po natin ang cruelty, not just in the streets, in the pounds, or elsewhere. Number 3, I think also is farm animal in food production. No? There's a lot of cruelty there also that I think us as an animal welfare NGO and the government should look into, because we always believe that animal welfare is human welfare. Interconnected po ang animal welfare, environmental protection, human health, animal disease. Kaya po kailangan nating mapag-ugnay-ugnay at mas mabigyan ito ng talagang tutok at i-communicate natin ng todo. Kasi, ayun nga, if we do not treat our animals in the farms on how we keep them, on how we slaughter them, on how we raise our food, no? So it brings about less food production, unhealthy animals that we eat, no? Or we offer to the public, hindi talaga masosolve yung diseases, hindi gaganda ang food production because you did not treat the food animals properly.
Attorney Heidi remains hopeful that the government will consider the proposals of animal welfare groups like the AKF and support the advancement of stronger animal welfare policies in the country.
Paigtingin po natin ang animal welfare na sana the government would really look into our programs, our proposals, and sana maglabas din ng statement ang government natin that they're also looking forward or pushing, no, for animal welfare to be implemented in our country.
How important is public participation in protecting animal welfare, and in what ways can people contribute to the cause?
It's important because as an animal welfare NGO, we always look into what we call change in human behavior. If we change human behavior on how they treat animals, on how they regard animals, and how they use animals, no, in their everyday lives, then there will be an improvement also in the living condition of animals. And it's important that public participation is there because key messages of compassion, of animal welfare will be spread out, and it creates a ripple effect. That's why we are always looking into education, IEC campaigns, no, social media awareness, para nga po mas lumawak at lumago ang awareness natin sa animal welfare.
In what ways can the public help the Animal Kingdom Foundation in its mission to protect animals?
Sa individual muna tayo, no? Each and every person, if they can, an animal, one single animal, no, per person, naku, lalaki po talaga ang bilang ng mga hayop na ating mapoproteksyonan. Ang publiko naman po, napakalaki din po ng maitutulong nila. Di po ay magtutulong-tulong na ma-call out ang mga violators, na mag-spread ng awareness, at ay mas malaki rin po ang magiging epekto nito sa pag-reduce ng animal cruelty sa ating bansa. So again, the public is the voice of the animals. So it's not just us as an organization, but it's the entire village that can help animals improve in terms of their living conditions. And also it takes a village, no, for the Philippines to be an animal welfare friendly country in the real sense of the word. Kami naman as an organization, you can also help us by supporting our work, by supporting our advocacy, by sharing, no, our key messages, by helping us also report, no, animal cruelty, dog meat trade issues, by inviting us in your community, by supporting us, by donating in cash or in kind. Napakarami pong tulong na mabibigay ng publiko. Hindi man po kayo makatulong as an individual, there's so many other little ways that you can help us. And these are big steps already for us to be able to continue our life-saving missions.
In closing, Attorney Heidi appeals for greater compassion toward animals and urges the public to stand against animal cruelty.
It's an appeal to all Filipino people to love our own Filipino animals and the animals in general, because the animals live with us. They are also living beings. They have the capacity to feel pain, to get sick, and the capacity to suffer, just like us human beings. If we can only be compassionate to each and every animals, if we can only be loving and respectful, then there will be no animal cruelty in the country. And we will be a peace-loving country, then we will also be an animal-loving country.
heartfelt thank you to Attorney Heidi Marquez-Caguioa for sharing her powerful insights and unwavering commitment to ending the dog meat trade in the Philippines. Her work with Animal Kingdom Foundation reminds us that advocacy, compassion, and action can drive real change for animals and for society. Let's continue supporting organizations and individuals who give a voice to the voiceless and pushing for stronger laws on animal welfare. Until next time on The Advocates, Empowering Voices. I'm Rochelle Rubio for 104.3 The Capital.
This is where the voices of the voiceless are heard. The Advocates, Empowering Voices, hosted by Rochelle Rubio on 104.3 The Capital.